Beautiful carbon fiber piece, as you guys can see, with that giant air filter. Check that out. Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. We have a very exciting video for you today, the third part in our GR Corolla series, and this video is actually 4 months in the making. I'll explain to you why. Let's go. Alright, so we are looking at the G16 EGTS. For those of you who are not aware, this is the engine that Toyota specifically made for both the GR Yaris and the GR Corolla. So it is in its stock form. Take a quick look. And today we're going to be covering a very exciting modification that the boys over at Eventuri in the UK sent over, a very special care package. Let's check it out. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Eventuri brand, they are a company out of the United Kingdom that makes ultra premium carbon fiber intakes for just about every vehicle. So let's see what they sent over today. Looks like the first package here is a Toyota GR Yaris carbon fiber engine cover in gloss. Very excited to check that out. So thanks for sending this over. We'll open that shortly. Next, the item that we've all been excited to receive here is one of the first production Toyota GR Corolla carbon fiber intakes in a gloss finish. So very excited to open the box and show you what's inside. And last but not least, you're probably wondering what this long box is, and I definitely want to cover that as well. So here we have the GR Yaris carbon fiber intake in a matte finish. So a little backstory about how this came to be. So I went down to Southern California to meet with the team at Eventuri in early mid-January, and they essentially scanned my vehicle in a stock form, and we did an install of the GR Yaris intake to understand what the delta was between the spacing in the engine bay to how the orientation of how the engine sits in the engine bay, and just do a comparison. And what the guys did at Eventuri is they essentially redesigned the whole intake ground up, and not only reusing the carbon fiber housing that houses the filter, and everything else was redesigned. So I'm very excited to show you what the differences between the two intake systems are. We'll definitely lay that out and get that installed in the car. All right, so this is the first one that we're cutting open, which is the carbon fiber engine cover. And we will cut this guy open. Check out what's inside. Looks like we got some stickers, the Eventuri emblem, very exciting, great packaging. Put that aside. And then we have the engine cover here. Move this guy out of the way. One more here. All right, let's check this out. Wow, look at that. So looks like they did a gloss carbon fiber here in black, and what's really unique about this engine cover, you can see essentially they took the OE engine cover and added their own flair to it with this red carbon fiber on top. All right, so now we're moving on to the carbon fiber intake. Let's cut this guy open. Very well here. All right. Wrapped very, very well. Okay, so we have some hardware from Eventuri. Looks like a coupler. An intake arm, looks like. The carbon fiber cone. And then last but not least, the front snorkel that goes to the front part of the intake system. Also in gloss carbon fiber. Let's get these guys open. All right, so we got the intake system all unboxed. It is a 3-piece system. We have the intake arm right here. We have the front snorkel, or front duct as you may call it. And then last but not least, the carbon fiber housing that holds the filter system inside. Just look at that carbon fiber finish. Truly just gorgeous. So next we will get the car torn apart and get this system installed. So let's go. So we got part of the car torn down. We took off the engine cover. We took off the front radiator panel. And then we're about to take off part of the intake here. So this is the front snorkel. And as you can see here, I started taking it apart already, but essentially this solenoid here, I thought I'd point out, which is pretty unique. On the OEM intake system, it actually uses vacuum to open and close the bottom side of the intake. You can't really see it, but once I take out the intake, I'll show you guys, but there essentially is a door that opens and closes under a certain amount of boost pressure. But we'll go ahead and take out the rest of the intake system and come back and all right, so let's get the intake box out. We loosen the worm clamp here and it should lift up like so. Unplug the MAF plug here. All right, and that's the intake box. And as I mentioned earlier, the flap on the bottom with the under boost, this box open and closes. Pretty cool, unique system that the Gazoo Racing team came out with, but the Eventuri system will be much better. All right, now we'll take out the intake arm that goes to the turbo in the back. Let's fish this guy out. And you can see the stock one has a lot of baffling built in. So with the new intake arm from the Eventuri system, it'll definitely eliminate a lot of the baffling that you see inside the tube to give it much more efficiency with airflow and much better sound and performance. So now we're going to install the new intake arm from Eventuri. As you can see, it's a little bit longer and it essentially angles the filter to be more direct for more airflow. And if you look inside, it has no baffling whatsoever, much more straighter, ensuring that there is the best airflow in. All right, so before I install the intake arm, this is actually this boost solenoid right here or the solenoid that controls the intake box from opening under a certain amount of boost and pressure. We're taking that guy out, and Eventuri has provided a plug because essentially on the new box or the new intake system, it won't use such a system. So they'll just give you a cap that caps off this T right here, like so. Next, we're gonna take out the MAF and transfer it over to the new Eventuri housing. So we'll move this guy aside. And we'll transfer the MAF over. And it comes with new hardware for us to fasten the MAF back in. Alright, so next we will put in the carbon fiber filter housing. Beautiful carbon fiber piece, as you guys can see, with that giant air filter. Check that out. And a small little bit of detailing here, the GRC plating stamped here to show that this is a GR Corolla specific intake. So let's go ahead and get this installed. We'll slide this in and it will sit back on these grommets like stock, and some adjustability for how you want the intake to sit once we get everything finalized and installed. So before I put the front radiator panel back on to finish up this install, we're going to take out this OE scoop here. Before I take that out, you can see that the air is directed from right beside the front emblem into the scoop, and then it previously went into the intake box. So we're going to go ahead and remove this snorkel. You guys can take a look. And what Eventuri provided, which I am a super big fan of, is this guy right here. So they are very, very big in the European market in terms of like BMWs, Audis, and whatnot. And as you guys who have been part of this channel for a while now know that I am a big BMW fanatic. I came from a BMW M2 and switched to my A90 Supra, and now adding the GR Corolla to the stable. This is just a nice little piece that they provided. So essentially what this piece does, let me show you guys here. You can see the front scoop is installed. So essentially it will use a push clip and a bolt and nut to fasten to radiator panel so that it doesn't move. But essentially now, if you look at it, it directs air from the OE location next to the emblem, as well as the front grille. Just check that out. And it also gives it a nice little accent from the front grille to know that you are equipped with an Eventuri intake. But I thought this was a very, very nice touch from Eventuri that they added to add a lot more airflow from not just the OE location, but also from the front grille to really, really do a true cold air ram intake into this ginormous air filter right here. All right, let's get back to installing the front radiator panel. Now that we have the carbon fiber filter housing installed, we're gonna put the radiator panel back on. And we will put all the OEM clips back in place before we put the front snorkel back on. Alright, so now that we got the front radiator panel installed, we have the front carbon fiber snorkel that is specific to the GR Corolla as well. Look at this giant piece of carbon fiber, just truly gorgeous. So what this will do now is it will fasten back in the OE location, reusing some of the bolts. And this part that I really, really like. As you can see, there's this funky hump from that OE snorkel that used to come into the airbox. What Eventuri did is found a really good solution to reuse the radiator panel and have this carbon fiber snorkel, but essentially have it in place where it covers that really ugly unfinished piece like so. And once it's installed, we'll definitely get it back into place, but just so you guys get an idea, just look at that. It gives direct airflow from the grill into the carbon fiber snorkel into the intake system. All right, so we have everything bolted down. I fastened the fasteners that essentially keeps the front snorkel in place on the chassis. And now you can see everything is fully installed and just looks absolutely gorgeous. I just love how it's a true cold air sealed unit coming from the front grille and the lower grille, charging air into through the air panel, through the radiator panel into the giant air filter right here, and really makes it a true beauty and performance piece. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted to show you that this really is a one-off and unique piece to the GR Corolla. So right over here, I actually had the front snorkel from the GR Yaris, so you guys can see. So the piece, there you go, zooming out a little bit. As you can see, the piece is very different. The bracketry is different compared to the GR Corolla one. It's a much smaller unit versus the on the GR Yaris one versus the GR Corolla. And one thing I also wanted to call out, just to show you guys the difference here, is essentially on the GR Yaris, it actually didn't have this plastic radiator panel, which is what the huge difference was between the two chassis of the vehicle, and that's why the intake wasn't a plug and play solution per se. So like I said, the team at Eventuri really went back to the drawing board, taking the GR Yaris intake as a baseline and really fully redesigned a brand new unit that was going to be getting maximum airflow, maximum performance and efficiency for this specific application. And as I mentioned earlier, building into the grill as well as the lower grill with the scoop really makes this truly a gorgeous performance piece. All right, now moving on to the last component, the engine cover. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the OE plastic engine cover like so, and it's just fastened by those rubber grommets, I believe 4 on the bottom of the engine cover. And then we're gonna opt for this beautiful carbon fiber engine cover that Eventuri sent over. What I really love about this unit is obviously it's carbon fiber, and second, they really just took the time to really take their own spin on it by adding this red piece of carbon fiber on top to really mimic the OE unit, but really giving it that extra premium flair. And of course, it's got the Eventuri emblem on the very, very front. Let's go ahead and put this guy on. So I won't put the clips back on, just place it on for now, just to kind of see how it looks, to get an idea. But look at that. So with the engine cover on and the carbon fiber intake, as you can see, that is truly a marvel to look at. All right, guys, I hope you really enjoyed what you saw today. This was the world premiere, your first look at the Eventuri carbon fiber intake, specifically for the GR Corolla. If you like what you saw, please leave a comment below, throw up a like, and subscribe to the channel for more content, as we'll have more coming, sound clips, and definitely a lot more for the GR Corolla right here. If you guys want to see this in person this weekend at the All Toyota Fest in Long Beach, my good friend Daniel Song, as you can see, I wore the shirt here of Driven Mind, he'll be actually displaying his GR Corolla demo car at the All Toyota Fest at the Raise booth, showing the matte carbon version of this setup that I have right here. If you want to see this system in person, definitely go check it out and say hi and tell them I sent you. Until next time, I'll see you on the next adventure.